Why are we here and you're there? Do you even care? God in the sky, the birds sing to you. They sure know what's true. He praise you every day. Without you there'd be no way to live. And I don't know why. Oh, I don't know why. There's a great big red God in the sky. When I'm feeling down, won't you come around? When I start to cry, won't you drop on by? Great big red God in the sky. And I don't know why. There's a great big red God in the sky. And I don't know why. There's a great big red God in the sky. And I don't know why. There's a great big red God in the sky.
A little different intro today. I like switching it up, especially when we've got some local music we can share with the world. So welcome to this episode of the Fergus Spotlight Podcast, where we are doing a deep dive into Darren Quam. He's been on the show before, but in a lot longer ago. Like, it was completely in the old format of the show when we were in the basement of the tattoo parlor. So a lot of time has gone by between then and now. You've got some new music out. That was an old cut. I chose a deep cut from one of your first albums. Is that your first album back in 2021, The Sea of Dreams?
That's right.
Yeah. So I was going through that album today. I saw, as we're recording this, I think it was like the day or two prior that you said this was the anniversary of your first album, Sea of Dreams.
Yeah. 4 years ago.
4 years ago. And you have cranked out a ton of music. You had the Sea of Dreams. You got the It Sings to You, All These Things, Daydreaming, a single, the Rainstorm single that came out last year. And then you had your Back on Top. And then the single that came out earlier this year, Why. And then we're going to be talking about this new album that's coming out that is called, you got to remind me of the name.
I think at this moment it's just going to go as Darren Quam and Friends.
Darren Quam and Friends.
Yeah.
Awesome. Because you kind of, I know we talked about Darren Quam and Friends a little bit before when you were on the show, and it's really, you've gone deeper into that now. You've kind of like doubled down on Darren Quam and Friends a little bit, as far as you've got a more consistent, bigger group of guys that you're playing with now.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of feels like, we've been having a lot more time to rehearse and things like that, and kind of figure out what we're doing a little bit more. And especially now that we've had like Justin Ness join us on guitar. And when we just had time to rehearse and kind of figure a few things out, feels like the group's tighter. And, we've got a lot of cool stuff that we'd want to record and play. So we've just been lucky to have the time to work on it. So it's been feeling pretty good. And there's a lot of songs that, a few songs we've been playing live last year that were new, we hadn't recorded. And then a couple more new ones that I thought, well, it's time, they're feeling pretty good. We should probably record them. So yeah, we're just in that phase now where we just kind of finished up tracking with the full band. Was that last weekend? So now I just go to work and do some overdubs and,
Nice.
things like that, and mix and master and everything that comes beyond that. But like the whole band recording in one room, we kind of finished that up last week. So
Nice. Yeah, I saw some videos. Looks like you guys were having a good time out in I assume that's your living room.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
really lucky to have the space, so
Yeah.
we can set up and isolate all the the amplifiers in different rooms of the house, and it's been a good setup. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. We're going to hear some more music from Darren. It's going to be a little bit more music than talk in this hour on KBRF radio or on the podcast. So I'm excited to share. Like I said, I was able to dig up that old, I call it the Darren Quam deep cut there from the original album. But that's a really good song. I heard that today for the first time. I was like, I should put that in there. But we've got a couple other queued up here. We've got Two Peas in a Pod. And we've got the Distractions and Lies.
Yeah.
So we'll get to talking about those in a little bit. And I've got a couple other songs here that we can play if we want to talk about maybe like I've got Why, if we want to talk about that. Those are some long songs too as well. So,
Yeah.
But like I said, we're going to get to hear some music. We're going to get to hear some stories behind these songs. Darren just got back from a trip as well. I believe he went down to South America again.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that, maybe hear some stories if you have any cool stories from that trip. But yeah, before we get into the episode, see the Outstate Beer, the Stumbino's coffee on the table here. Big shout out to those guys. On top of that, shout out Atlas Outdoor Services, Victor Lundeen's, Fergus Home and Hardware, Liberty Business Systems, Wayne Schuett with Century 21 Atwood, and Dr. Zach Chiropractic, keeping me straight. So, all right, Darren, I guess fill people in a little bit. You kind of alluded to the growth of Darren Quam and Friends. I think Justin is such a great guy and such a great musician. And so I was super excited to hear that you guys were teaming up to, consistently make some music. I know that prior to that, he had kind of filled in a little bit. But to have him as like a kind of a permanent fixture of Darren Quam and Friends, I was pretty excited that came to be. So,
Yeah.
But what else is new with you since, I guess, probably like a year and a half ago or so that I talked to you on the show?
Oh man. I'm kind of just up to the same old thing, which I like, making music and traveling. So yeah, I've been lucky to, continue with both of those. So trying to, kind of concentrate a little more on original music, which I enjoy playing covers as well. And a lot of the places, where I play, they like to hear covers, and some places like to hear originals. So I like to have all the bases covered kind of, and, be able to play more covers or more originals. But recently it's kind of been more the focus on originals and recording.
And you took, obviously you took a huge break. You're probably just now kind of starting to get back into shows. I know, what'd you get back a month ago? 2 months ago, maybe?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You came back in time to do your taxes. That's what your sister was telling me. He'll be back to do his taxes. He's back to do his taxes every year.
Yeah.
So where'd you go this winter?
Let's see. I went to Guatemala for 2 weeks. I went back to see the host family that I'd stayed with over the last few years, kind of like my Guatemalan family now. So I had to go back to see them, and hung out for a week, and then went to the east coast of Guatemala, which I had never been to the Caribbean side, for a week. And that was kind of just a stopover on the way to Brazil. I really wanted to check out Brazil. I'd never been there. So spent a month in Brazil and kind of hopped around, took a lot of flights. It's a huge country. But yeah, I got to know a little bit of each area I wanted to see, and had a great time. And then I went to Uruguay.
Wow.
And met my parents there, and we spent like a week in Uruguay. And then we went over to Argentina and spent about 3 weeks there, and another large country. So we're traveling a lot. And then it was cheaper to come home out of Santiago, Chile. So we went over there, and they flew home, and yeah.
So you traveled. Your parents came out for a good chunk of the trip.
They were with me for about a month. Yeah, I think I was out there for like 3 months, and they were with me for a month. So
wow. And what are you doing out there? Are you going out and just hiking around, finding locals to meet? Are you playing music when you're out at these places? I mean, I would assume that like it's a really cool thing to show up to a place where no one knows you. They don't get to maybe hear a lot, or if any, of like your style of music, the culture, I mean, it's got to be fun to bring your music to other people. I assume you got to play some music.
Yeah. Over the years, I end up getting into the music. The country I'm in, and their music is such a part of the culture that I like to, listen to what everyone else is listening to and kind of check it out. But then eventually, yeah, I start chatting music with people, and maybe a guitar comes out and we start jamming, or every once in a while. It seems like on the last couple trips when we get an Uber or taxi or something, and you start chatting. Oh, what do you do? I'm a musician, and right away they say, "Oh, do you have music on Spotify or whatever?" Yeah, so we get into it and we listen on the ride and chat about music. And
That's cool.
yeah, so it's always good. It's it connects. Anywhere you go, you can find connections through music, and I can connect with people and the culture and things. But yeah, when I'm out there, my main mission, I guess, is just experiencing things. So I love, nature's maybe the biggest thing that I like to find. Cool hikes, or
what was the highlight as far as like sightseeing that you got to experience on this last trip?
That's a tough one. With my parents, we went down to Patagonia in the south of Argentina, and that was the farthest south. We're getting close to Antarctica at that point, so it's about as far as you can go south. And yeah, that was really neat. I'd never been down there, and yeah, and of course Brazil. There was places that one of the best parts about travel is before I go there, I'm planning a trip, and I kind of have some things in my mind, and then when you get there, it's always totally different. Nothing like you could have imagined, and seeing the reality, it's really cool. Yeah. 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 A lot of cool landscapes and just out of this world. Yeah.
So you didn't bring it, weren't packing a guitar around with you. You didn't buy one like you said, like you normally do when you're staying somewhere. You just kind of like traveling without your guitar and playing where you could play or whatever.
Strangely enough, usually, I buy a guitar or two or whatever, and try to have one with me. But on this trip, I never bought one. I never had one. It was kind of weird. Yeah, it was really weird actually, but I did end up playing a little bit. Yeah.
Nice to get a break though. Take like a true vacation, a true break.
Yeah, and kind of when I'm at home, I'm just playing nonstop, and which is great. But yeah, every once in a while a break is good. So
do you find that when you get out and unplug and do that, like you get some really good ideas? Like you probably wrote a song or a couple songs or came up with concepts for songs once you're able to unplug.
Yeah. And then even when I didn't have a guitar, there's one, I wrote a song. I didn't have any instruments, and I was just on this boat, and it's like, oh, I got this idea. So it's just, I have my phone, so I can just, sing the melody and kind of the rhythm into the phone, and, save that moment. And when I get home, try to translate it to guitar and things. But,
nice.
So it's kind of a different way to go about things. And yeah, it's kind of cool.
I love it. Well, we can talk a little bit more about that trip later if we want here. I kind of want to play one more song. Should we do another old one before we get into the newer music? Should we do All These Things? This is a 2022 single.
Oh, sure.
Is that a good one?
I haven't listened to that one in a long time.
Well, let's play that. We're chatting with Darren Quam here. If you guys are just joining us on KBRF Radio, and this is All These Things, 2022, another old song by Darren Quam here.
Judge me and I won't judge you. You got your style and I got mine too. Nothing wrong with the way we do. We're all the same and the whole thing's through. Whole thing's true now. The whole thing's true. Whole thing's true. Whole thing's true. Draw your borders and make your sides. Wicked ways where the greedy hide. People suffer from stupid things. War and hate, all greed brings. All these things. All these things. All these things. All these things.
Ah. Rockin' 2022 Darren Quam right there. Talk about that one. All These Things. That's a single from 2022.
Yeah, I started recording that kind of as a demo, and then I was gonna make it a nicer demo, and then it sounded all right, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna put it out as a single, and I think I'll re-record it someday and put it on an album. That day hasn't come yet, but we've been thinking about it. We've been jamming it with the band and thinking, yeah, we should record that in a different way and see how it goes. Because I think it's a cool song.
Yeah. So on that older stuff, did you play all the instruments in that? Is that like looping guitar parts on top of each other? I mean, did you do all the production yourself on that?
Yeah. I would lay down all the parts on those ones. Yeah.
Okay. And then when did you start? Like, at what point in these albums, Rainstorm, Daydreaming? When did you start playing with a band? Or is like Why the first one that you really did with Darren Quam and Friends?
Why would have been the first one that we tracked with Darren Quam and Friends, like in a room. Yeah. Other than that, I'd played the parts besides the drums. I bring to John Hunter, our drummer.
Okay.
So he's played drums on all of them, except that last track that we played. That was just programmed drums I did.
Okay, programmed drums, nice.
But all the other stuff, John had been on drums. But the first time we ever tracked together in a room was Why.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. And I guess who writes this stuff? You've obviously, now that you're getting into some more music, did you write everything that's on the album now that's coming out? I know Justin is a really, really good musician as a whole. He writes some music as well.
Yeah. So far I've written the parts. I try to leave it open, like kind of everyone do their thing, and maybe I have some sort of direction I'm kind of thinking with a different part, but mostly I write the song, bring it in, and then I kind of want everyone to not be how do I even put it? I want people to have the freedom who are playing on it to do their thing, and we can refine things, or if I have some sort of idea, we could communicate it. But yeah,
I like it. Yeah, you gotta, and I enjoy watching you guys live. I've always appreciated that, like jam band aspect of it, where there's just like a really, really like good rapport that you guys have for improvising and doing and filling everything in. I'm super excited for Woodstack this year. I mean,
oh yeah,
I know you guys have a few shows booked, Woodstack being one of them.
Yeah.
Got anything else big coming up for the summer here?
Oh man, I should have looked at my calendar. We got a lot scheduled, yeah. But between solo shows and Darren Quam and Friends, yeah, we've got a lot going on. We're just like solo show. Let's see, tomorrow I have my first one for the season at Outstate, and then a week from Sunday we have our first full band show, Mystic Lake Casino. So we're getting ready for that as well. And
by the way, this is pre-recorded, so don't go to Outstate tomorrow and expect to see Darren Quam, but he will have been there.
Yeah, and I'll be back there. I think I'm doing once a month there or something like that.
You get plenty of opportunities to see Darren, whether it be in Fergus or in Battle Lake. I mean, you're all over. I'm not sure what it'll be interesting to see what the music scene looks like in Battle Lake. I know that like the Rusty Nails got rebranded. I think you had the brewery that closed down for the winter that's back. I think ABC is back up and swinging now, right? Or do you know much about that? Because that's a place you frequent, right?
Yeah, I used to play there quite often. I did one show there last year, and I think I have one lined up this year.
Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, like we'll be doing some regular things like Oktoberfest at Outstate in the fall, and then again in September we'll be doing that Woodstack. And other than that, we have a few shows around at bars like Leaf Valley. We'll be there, I think, the 24th of May.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, all the schedules usually on my website, darrenquam.com. So
nice. So let's talk a little bit about the inspiration in this new album or these new songs here. How long have you been working on these? Like, how long have some of these songs been in the works?
It kind of varies, Some of them are, they've been around for a little while, but I haven't really played them or brought them to any other band members or anything. So this is kind of the first time they've like got life into them.
Right.
But then there's, one or two that's kind of fresh and new. But actually some of them have been around a couple years now. Yeah. That I've just been wanting to record, but never kind of had them where I wanted them or didn't have the right situation. But now it kind of started last year when we felt more comfortable as Darren Quam and Friends, and we started playing some of those songs, and we started feeling the vibe of like, oh yeah, they're working.
Yeah.
They were a lot of fun. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, we should make an album with these tunes, and yeah, I think they're ready. We're ready.
I love it. Well, let's play one of them here. Let's get into one of them. Does it matter which one goes first here? The distractions and lies or the two peas in a pod?
Either one you can choose.
I'll
Yeah,
choose.
yeah.
Okay, let's do this distractions and lies one. Let's
All
get
right.
that one going here.
Sometimes you work so hard, got nothing to show. Keep planting them seeds, and nothing will grow. Sometimes you think too much, you don't even know. Mine's running too fast, but you're moving too slow. When you worship the clock, don't wanna be late. Light in your eyes to the concept of fate. Missing the moment, losing the meaning. Wanting to you, your house of cards is leaning. Looking out when the light is inside. All they told you were distractions and lies. Unnatural ways are taking your days. Years they collect. You're the one who pays. Lethal lullaby will put you to sleep. It's hard to wake up when you're in too deep. Praise on the doubts, yeah, praise on the fears. Give it a minute, it'll take a few years. Invading your space, out
good song. It's a good song, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's a long song.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, that's a good one, dude. That's a really good one.
Thanks.
Yeah. So what goes again, obviously there's some improvisation in there. You mentioned like the last kind of third of that song kind of came off of like a little jam that you had in a practice one day, and like, yeah, that's actually kind of a cool way to change it up.
Yeah.
And so what goes into like, what does that mean? What does that song mean? What does it mean?
Well, kind of, I don't know. I'd like to leave it up to whoever's listening,
Yeah.
interpret it the way they like to.
Okay. Yep. That's fair.
But yeah, if you listen to the lyrics, you'll probably come up with something that means something for you.
Yeah.
Means something for me, but
Yep.
yeah. And then like you were saying, the end of that song, we were just at a rehearsal, and we kind of came to the end, which is the middle of the song now, and just started jamming kind of on that groove at the end just for fun, and we thought, wow, that's got to be part of the song now.
I love it. So, and another question we had is, how long should a song be? Is there a right or a wrong answer to that question?
There's no wrong answer, that's for sure.
Who wrote the first like long song? Do you know like any musical history? Like who changed the game, or were there standards ever set? Like,
I don't know. When I think back, probably like I'm just making stuff up here, but I imagine like back in the day when people would, I'm talking thousands of years ago, when people were singing and chanting around, probably last a long time. You
Right.
know? They weren't 2-minute pop songs. It was get in the zone kind of.
right. I know as far as like modern music goes, I know Bob Dylan changed the game a lot with some of his songs that just like kept going and going and going forever.
Yeah.
Or some shorter songs that like maybe people felt incomplete, or just like breaking the rules as far as like what you should expect out of like how long a song should be.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like however long it takes to get what you have to say, like if there's something that's going to be a long thing to say, it's going to be a long song, or the vibe of it doesn't have to be words specifically, but and if it's some idea where you can get it across in a short amount of time, then that's a short song.
Yeah. I was talking with Ben Ranson, who I've had on the show, about like, he wants to start doing some 30-second banger, just like a 30-second song with like a joke, like a 30-second punchline song. It's like, you can make a song out of anything, you can make a 10-second song, so I like it. I'm really, I love, and I totally get that. Like, you don't want to give away what the songs mean to you, because you like for other people to get what they get out of them. But do you have can you give any insight into it at all? Cause I think that means a lot. It's good to hear that from the artist if you get a chance to.
Yeah. I guess it has something to do with kind of the society that we live in today, with a lot of distractions and, kind of the technology and how everything's fast paced, and it's easy to wear yourself down, and you get caught up in the vibe of, everything needs to be perfect right now and every moment. And things about kind of that lifestyle or the society that we live in. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. No, I since I've met you, Darren, I've got that, like, you just do life a little bit different than other people. I don't know if you have a smartphone or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't have one. You're that
kind of it too much.
Yeah. But no, it's just, I appreciate that vibe. I really liked, I'm blanking, Daydreaming. That's always, and I don't have that on my queued up here, but that's one of my like OG favorite Darren Quam songs that, like, when I heard it, I was like, oh, well, I know what this song means to me, or like, I don't know, I'm sure it means something to you too, but like that one's pretty clear, kind of.
Yeah,
a little bit more of a clear message, you know?
Yeah, it is. I like that about songs too. It can be clear message, or it can be something else. And I always like things that can mean a few different, goes a few different ways. And especially if, I've had songs, like some of my favorite songs, I hear the lyrics and I think what they mean to me. And it's something that like affects my life kind of, and then I maybe hear the artist talking about what it meant to them, and it's like, oh, that's not what it meant to me. I don't know. So I kind of like the idea of just, having it mean something different to everyone else if it's a song that's not like coming straight across.
Right. What did I heard this today actually, like a concept of like, we're talking with tattoo artists, but musicians. It's like once you create a song and put it out there in the world, like it's not for you anymore. Like you made it, but it's like it's for the people who are listening to it, right? Like that same thing, like giving someone a tattoo, like that's cool, that's your art, but it's not. That's for that person, like it's. So yeah, I love that. I think that if you've probably had, if you have a history or personal experiences of maybe being like ruined by like, oh, that's actually a lame explanation of that song. Like what do you mean that song doesn't mean anything to you? That song meant everything to me.
Yeah. And I think that's important. Like if people can find their own meanings of things and have it mean something to them too. So
and, the singer songwriter aspect of music in general, I think is just really cool. I mean, so many big musicians don't write their own music. The ones that do write their own music and make huge careers out of it, it's like, wow, the talent that must take. But constantly that just coming up with, I mean, I think Taylor Swift is probably the best at it as far as like tapping into people's emotions and making people relate to her songs and, like just cranking out song after song after song after song that people can relate with, not that I'm a Taylor Swift fan or anything. I have no confessions. I don't know any of her songs or latest songs, some old country stuff, but no, I think it's cool. And I think it's cool to hear the change in that last song we heard, Distractions and Lies, versus like some of that stuff that you'd produced on your own, getting some other talents in there, some other styles in there to support what you do. Like you can tell there's more life in it. Not to take anything away from your old stuff, but I could just like, there's a lot of life in that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's I like that, being able to have like collaboration a little bit,
Yeah. So I have a couple more songs queued up here. We've got plenty of time left to fill here. Do you want to talk about the single Why a little bit? What?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know what you want me to tell you, but
why?
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 Yeah, that's the big question, So yeah, that song, it was a real guitar song that, I didn't have any lyrics for at the time. I just had this kind of riff that I thought, oh, that's something. I'm going to hold on to that. And then of course I brought it to, and I thought our drummer John would really like it. And of course, yeah, I brought it to practice and he was like, oh yeah, let's work on that. And I was like, okay. So we started playing it and then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to, I don't know. I was kind of struggling thinking, oh, I have to come up with some lyrics. And then of course, once I quit trying to think of stuff, then eventually it just, an idea came and, I started writing about that. But yeah, I was pretty pleased how the song came together, and everything.
And then it was just like, it came together, it was done, you had it, and you're like, well, may as well release this as a single. Did you know that the other album was coming a few months later?
Yeah, actually, we recorded, basically with this album, when we recorded the full band, we did it in like two different sections. We did a couple sessions in the late fall, and then took a break, and I traveled a bit, and then came back, and we just did the last session last week. And I think we did like 5 songs on the first session, or 6 actually, and then we did 4 songs on this session. But then the first session we did Why in that session, and everyone just thought, oh, that one's got a cool energy. Like maybe we should finish that one up and put it out as a single now.
Gotcha.
Good idea. So yeah,
I like it. Well, let's listen to that one now. Let's play Why. And then we'll talk about it a little bit more if there's anything else to share as to why. I'll figure out why what why means to me, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Psychedelic. That's
and the
a
whole
psychedelic.
and the drums too. And
Yeah. Why, Darren Quam? Why? I was trying to find a way to get ChatGPT to explain what the songs meant to me during the break, but it's not quite there yet. It's not quite. It doesn't quite have enough of a soul to feel what music means. There's some aspects of being human that are still just unique to us as humans. Like, how does that song make you feel?
Yeah. Thank God. Oh, that's weird. That's really weird.
Yeah, but that's a good song. I was mentioning like that psychedelic kind of almost synthesized electronic vibe there, especially at the end of that song. How do you get that?
Well, at the end of that song, I decided I've been into. I really like the sound of phasers on a few things and flangers, and so I put a flange on everything on that: the drums, the bass, the guitars.
What's a flange? What is it?
Kind of what you're hearing, that swirly like.
Okay.
So yeah, I put all the instruments through that and kind of built it up at the end. So it really, if you listen in headphones, yeah, you really hear it kind of going stereo and swishing, swishing around a lot. Yeah, a lot of swishiness.
I like that. It's a great song. Great song. We've got one more here we're gonna play, and then we'll wrap up whatever else we have to talk about. But this is Two Peas in a Pod, and this is a new one that'll be coming out on the Darren Quam and Friends album sometime before Aaron Sunday leaves Fergus Falls. We don't know exactly when that album's coming out yet, but sometime.
As soon as it can, yeah, it will be. It's on its way.
So this is Two Peas in a Pod.
Hey now.
I got to restart that one. That was my fault here. I got to go back to our settings here because I had that one queued up playing earlier. So let me try that again here. Let's play this again. There we go.
Just like two peas in a pod, always growing together, stuck on the same old stem, living through the same old weather. But now it's time to part. You're sharing one heart now. You know you've been doomed right from the start. Take that poison out of my life. Get away from me with that knife. You're always trying to drag me down and give it the same old run around. What happened to you? I'll see right through, Lord. You got nothing to do. You know that it's true. Clouding up my sunny day, you won't let me feel that way. You just wanna make me pay now. You can't let it be that way. Just take what I got, though I'd rather not now. Just give it a shot. It's starting to rot.
So that's a little bit of preview of what we're going to get out of this new Darren Quam and Friends album. I can't wait for it. I'm sure you're probably ready for the work that you've put in to be done as well.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for having me on and giving a little preview here too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fun to share it.
Absolutely. I'm sure this reached some people on KBRF that normally wouldn't have got to hear your music. So I hope that they appreciated that for sure.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit more about future. I mean, is this going to be the last album that Darren Quam ever writes?
I hope not. I mean, you never can predict the future, but if I'm alive longer, I'll be making more music. Yeah.
I love it. No, keep making music, man. Keep doing what you guys are doing. It blows me away the talent that's available to us right here in Fergus Falls or this area, Otter Tail County. We just have some really good musicians like that are really good people too. Good people to have in our community that are doing good things. The Woodstack event is a good thing for our community that you guys do. It's always fun to see Darren Quam and Friends at Oktoberfest at Outstate. If that's who they decide to bring in this year. I don't know if you guys are booked for that or not. But
yeah, we'll be there again.
Yeah, those are the sort of things that like I came into this community, started this podcast a few years ago, 2.5 years ago, and Dan Olson was my second episode, a musician, and I knew as soon as I interviewed him, I was like, I really want to be a part of more of these interviews. I want to be a part of sharing local music with people, and not just sharing the music because you guys can share your music out, but like hearing the stories behind the music and giving people an opportunity to share those stories. So to all the musicians, not just Darren, but thank you guys for creating music in our community. It means a lot to all of us. So
yeah, well, I mean, thanks for sharing it and putting it out there and doing this because that's really important. So
yeah. What else do we want to talk about? You said the album's going to be 9 tracks. The plan is to put it onto a vinyl.
Yeah. And with that in mind, we were, initially we had 10 tracks and one just kind of wasn't fitting the vibe. So we decided, we'd go with 9. And then when we thought about putting it on vinyl, then we thought, there's the actual physical part of vinyl where, you can only fit so much music on each side without losing quality. And it seems to be that we're about right on track with those 9 songs to fit on a vinyl. So that's the plan for now. We'll see what happens. But
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, are we going to start hearing some of this stuff live in solo sets at all? Like, are you playing some of these songs in your sets?
I am. Yeah. I've been playing some of the stuff that's going to be on the album as at the solo gigs, which is a little hard. I try to cover it all with the looper, but
right,
it's pretty hard. But when the full band's playing, then we've been playing these ones quite a bit. And,
okay.
We've been enjoying playing them. So, yeah, if you catch us out with the full band, you'll definitely hear some of those songs this summer. So,
keep an eye out for Darren Quam and Friends. How can the people? You mentioned your website earlier that has all of your dates on it. How else can the people find you on the internet?
Yeah. First of all, the website, darrenquam.com, has links to everything, the music and social media, but also, Facebook. I think it's Darren Quam Music, and then Instagram. I try to keep a few things updated on those. But if you follow me on either of those, I try to keep posted where I'm playing, when I'm playing. Otherwise, usually the website has the schedule as well.
Nice. Well, thanks again for joining me, Darren. Thanks for giving us a preview of the new album. Can't wait to listen to it all the way through once it's out. That'll be cool. Wow. But this was a fun little music listening party we had here.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. So, thanks for joining me. Thanks again to the sponsors: Atlas Outdoor Services, Outstate Brewing, Stumbino's Coffee, Victor Lundeen's, Fergus Home and Hardware, Liberty Business Systems, Wayne Schuett with Century 21, and Dr. Zach Chiropractic. I'm going in to get an adjustment tomorrow. That'll be good.
Oh, nice.
That's what I need right now. I got some sore hips.
Oh,
so them hips don't lie. He's going to take care of me. So, intro, outro music here that you're going to hear brought to you by Rev Commander. Oh man, Aaron Sunday, we are going to all miss you if it's true. I don't want you to leave, but we love Aaron.
It's a great guy.
Great guy.